Most people get investing wrong because they chase the wrong outcome at the wrong time. They either chase appreciation before they're stable, or they cling to cash flow long after it's already done its job. Real wealth isn't built by choosing one forever. It's built by sequencing correctly. There is a phase where cash flow is the priority. There is a phase where equity appreciation becomes the focus. And there is a dangerous middle where people pivot too early or too late. Today we're breaking down how to invest for cash flow, how to know when it's enough, how to prepare before leaving employment, how to think once you're independent, and how to transition into appreciation, small business investing, and private equity-style opportunities without blowing up what you've built. Let's start with the foundation. Cash flow investing is not about getting rich. It's about buying freedom, stability, and optionality. Cash flow replaces income. Cash flow absorbs shocks. Cash flow buys time. When you are employed, cash flow investments serve a different purpose than when you are independent. While employed, cash flow is defensive. It de-risks your life. It reduces dependency on a paycheck. It builds margin. That margin is what allows intelligent risk-taking later. Early-stage cash flow investing should be boring, predictable, repeatable, unsexy. The goal is not maximizing returns. The goal is minimizing fragility. If your lifestyle requires $5,000 per month to survive, your first investing objective is not appreciation. It's building reliable income streams that cover that number with margin. That margin matters. Covering expenses exactly is not enough. Expenses fluctuate, repairs happen, vacancies happen, markets turn. A safe rule is that baseline cash flow should exceed living expenses by at least 20 to 30% before major life changes are considered. Now let's talk about how to know when cash flow is enough. Enough is not a feeling. 6 to 12 months of expenses minimum, more if your income streams are volatile. Third, personal burn rate must be understood and controlled. High fixed expenses destroy flexibility. The lower your burn rate, the less cash flow you need, and the faster you reach independence. This is where discipline matters most. People fail not because they didn't make enough. They fail because they expanded their lifestyle too early. When you leave employment, you are trading guaranteed income for control. Control is powerful, but it exposes inefficiencies immediately. Every unnecessary expense becomes visible. Every weak investment becomes stressful. That's why the smartest move post-employment is not upgrading life. It's tightening it. Lower living expenses create excess cash flow. Excess cash flow is fuel. Fuel allows reinvestment without leverage stress. This is the phase where cash flow investing evolves. Once baseline expenses are covered, incremental cash flow has diminishing marginal utility. An extra $1,000 per month doesn't change freedom the same way the first 1,000 did. At this point, cash flow becomes a tool, not the goal. This is where the pivot toward equity appreciation begins. Appreciation investing requires patience, longer time horizons, and the ability to tolerate volatility. That tolerance only exists when cash flow has already stabilized your life. Equity appreciation comes from three places: market growth, operational improvement, multiple expansion. Real estate appreciation often comes from basis discipline and forced value creation, not blind optimism. Buying right matters more than timing markets. But appreciation strategies are capital intensive. They require reinvestment. They often delay income. That's why they're dangerous if attempted too early. Cash flow funds appreciation. Appreciation compounds wealth. Now let's bring in small business investing and private equity style strategies. Once cash flow covers life, capital can be deployed more aggressively. Small businesses are one of the most underappreciated asset classes available. They generate real cash flow, trade at reasonable multiples, and allow operational control. Unlike public markets, small businesses reward effort and insight. They are inefficient. Inefficiency creates opportunity. Service businesses, trade businesses, professional firms, niche operators. These businesses often produce cash flow and equity growth simultaneously. They can be scaled, professionalized, and eventually sold. This is where the real transition happens. You move from income replacement to capital allocation. At this stage, the investor's job changes. It's no longer about finding deals. It's about deciding where capital earns the highest risk-adjusted return. Private equity thinking becomes relevant here. Cash flow first, then growth, then systems, then exit optionality. This is also where personal lifestyle discipline matters most. High consumption kills compounding. Every dollar spent is a dollar not acquiring equity. Full-time investors who win long-term often live below their means long after they could upgrade. This isn't deprivation, it's strategy. Lower expenses mean higher reinvestment rates. Higher reinvestment rates mean faster equity growth. Faster equity growth creates optionality. Optionality is the real prize. It allows you to take asymmetric bets without risking survival. It allows patience when markets turn. It allows walking away from bad opportunities. Evaluating success after independence requires a different lens. It's not about monthly income alone. It's about net worth trajectory, asset quality, leverage risk, liquidity, optionality. Short-term volatility increases. Long-term control improves. The mistake many people make is freezing at the cash flow phase. They keep buying income assets long after stability is achieved, missing the compounding power of equity growth. The opposite mistake is abandoning cash flow too early and becoming dependent on appreciation and exits. The winning strategy is sequencing. Stabilize with cash flow, reduce burn rate, build reserves, exit employment deliberately, reinvest excess cash flow, shift toward appreciation and ownership, expand into businesses and private equity-style assets. Each phase prepares you for the next. Wealth is not built by one strategy executed forever. It's built by evolving strategies as your balance sheet evolves. Cash flow buys freedom. Equity builds wealth. Discipline keeps it. The goal is not to escape work. The goal is to control capital. And capital rewards those who understand when to protect, when to grow, and when to compound.